welcome to the Instagram Stories Daily Update. I am your temporary host, Lauren Hill. Dan will be back soon, pretty soon, probably tomorrow. I'm not sure. But today we're going to talk about advertisements on Instagram, and not advertisements for things that are tiny and magnetic and you don't know whether or not they're coming from a company that's established or not. I'm talking about established companies that are using Instagram to market and promote their products. Most recently, I was looking for living room furniture. I'm actually still on a search for living room furniture. I've now sold our living room furniture, and we have a product called corduroys. This is not an ad for corduroys, but this is just something I wanted to share. Corduroys is a company that has been around since 1998. I did a ton of research on them, and they make these fantastic beanbag type chairs that also double as a guest bed. So when it's not a beanbag chair, you can turn it into a mattress. They've actually been on Shark Tank. They've been fulfilling orders for over 20 years. And I found them because of Instagram ads that showed up in my feed. Now, I know when you're on the internet and we're looking at different items and we're Googling different topics, Dan and I talk about this all the time. It's not a coincidence that if you're talking about, say, living room furniture, suddenly ads for Josh and Maine show up, or Restoration Hardware, or another company called Maker and Son. I've seen all these ads because we've been talking about living room furniture for so many weeks. Corduroys, though, was an interesting one. When that showed up in my feed, I'd always talked about Lovesac products, which I do love. And if you ask Dan, he'll say it's an overpriced beanbag. But I was looking to see what was in the market. I find this company because of Instagram. I start looking at this company's background. I start reading comments. I start reading reviews. I start reading a lot of different information on a company that has been established in the industry of furniture for over 20 years. And guess what happened? I bought a corduroy. They had a really great sale at the end of the year. It was 20% off. It was free shipping. It was all this good stuff. This had to do with the fact that they are utilizing Instagram ads to promote their product. The company that I work for full-time, we've done this as well. The company that I work for full-time has been in business since 1926 and the current ownership since 1958. So we've used Instagram for the last year and a half to promote a very specific product line that we have North American representation for, and also for another line that we specifically represent in the state of New Jersey where we live and work. This is something that I think is interesting for established businesses, and we've seen it on a bigger scale. And I'm not talking about the companies that we all know, like Tiffany & Company, or names that have been established like McDonald's, things along those lines. I mean, private-owned businesses, companies that have been around for 20 years, 25 years, in the case with our company, for almost 100 years. This is a great way to connect with your base. This is a great way to connect with who's taking over for your base. In the machinery industry that we're in, our company is well known, but the old guard is retiring. So the new guard who's taking over is using Instagram to vet us. And we get the messages, we get the requests for swag because they see our technicians wearing a certain hat or they like our shirt. And then we find out that the person contacting us is the new purchasing director for the facility that we were just working in. They've researched us. They've looked at the gallery. They've entered the community, and here we are working together. Instagram is rapidly becoming a marketing tool, stronger and more powerful than I think it originally was intended to be. And it's not going anywhere. So if you're a small, privately owned business, definitely something to look into. And the fact that you're listening to the Instagram Stories Daily Update means that you have the best social media strategist, Dan Hill, only one DM message away. So hit him up, let him know, ask a question. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to hear you soon, see you soon, something like that. Have a great day.